Hi everybody, Lori here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to share a video featuring brand new distress watercolor pencils by Tim Holtz, and I've swatched them out. I'm going to show you what they look like. They're 12 woodless, water reactive, highly pigmented watercolor pencils, and they come in this cute little tin. Very Tim Holtz. Very fun. I couldn't wait to do a little unpackaging, a little swatching. So as you can see, these are woodless and they are watercolor pencils, and they have some of the best colors. I'm hoping that more colors come out because, I mean, Distress has, I don't know how many colors now. I'm going to swatch them out onto some Arches cold press watercolor paper. I was wishing I had some Tim Holtz watercolor paper, but I must have used it all. I know, the horror. I need to order a few packages. But so I had some Arches and I thought I'll give it a try. So I'm starting by just scribbling a little scribble of that first color, which is Kitsch Flamingo. And then I take a wet brush just with some water and I kind of fan it out. I just scribble it out. Now this next color is Barn Door. Now, it might not look like much here, but wait till I add the water. It goes kaboom, like an explosion of gorgeous lipstick red color, and it blends out onto that watercolor, just kind of fades out effortlessly. Look at that bold red color. These colors are delicious. Like I said, I'm hoping, I don't know, maybe there'll be more colors in the future. But okay, so let's talk about the consistency. These are pencils. They're not crayons, and they're harder. They're definitely harder, and I believe you can sharpen them, which is really cool if you like to have a nice sharp tip. Okay, here we have Fossilized Amber. I just swatched these out. This is just my first swatch out reaction. Just kind of looking at the colors, seeing how they blend out. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I just thought I'm going to give it a go, see what we got. I wasn't sure how soft, how hard they would be. Twisted Citron. Now, if you don't know this, but Twisted Citron is my favorite distress color in all the land. And I was not disappointed. I was worried that it might be so light, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so I'm working my way through the distress pencil rainbow. And I mean, I'm having so much fun. Next we have Cracked Pistachio. Now this is another favorite color. I feel like they're all my favorite colors. This one's very, very light. Very light. I can see as I fan it out, it gets, so this would be a beautiful color for like snow, snowmen, water and sky. If you want something very, very subtle, it's a great color for clouds. Here we have Mermaid Lagoon. This is another one that just kind of pops. Some really pop and some are just like dreamy, subtle. You know, you get all of it. You get all of it. Here's one that goes kaboom. Prize Ribbon. Okay, doesn't look like much when you scribble. And when I add the water, it's kaboom. Really, like very potent in the most delicious way. Okay, so I can see here that I'm running out of room. I'm not going to have room. I believe there's 12 in this cute little tin. And I actually ran out of room on my paper. Here's Seedless Preserves. Got to end it with a little purple. And this one here, every time I scribble it, I'm like, what is this going to turn out like? But then when you add the water, it really comes to life. And I got to say, they fan out beautifully. I'm going to add one more color, Iced Spruce, which is kind of a cross between a green and a gray. I would say it's like a greenish gray. It's a lovely neutral tone. There's two more colors, Antique Linen and Vintage Photo. Now here I swatched them all and labeled them for reference, future reference. And you can see that Antique Linen and Vintage Photo. But look at these colors. Look at how they blend out. I'm in love. I'm so giddy. Now I wanted to create a card because you got to like see it in action. I didn't really feel like coloring an image. I wanted to just use these pencils in a way that really showcased the color. So I just have a panel, again, of that Arches cold press watercolor paper, and I took my ruler and I'm just drawing a simple stripe with, I didn't use all of the colors. I think I left out the iced spruce, the vintage photo, and the antique linen. I left out those 3. Looking back now, I probably should have added them just to showcase all the colors. But as you can see, every 1/4 of an inch, and I use my grid mat here just to draw the lines. It couldn't be easier. Forgot one line up at the top. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back in just with a wet brush and just kind of give it a once over. Just back and forth a few times, get it wet, let it activate. And I started wiping my ruler, and some of these really bleed. The water gets under the ruler, and at first I was like, oh no, this is getting messy. But then as I did it, I kind of started to appreciate the imperfections and the bleeding and the little bit of messy. I kind of was digging that imperfect vibe. Because at first I wanted it to be really clean and precise. But as I got going, I was kind of like, you know what? I kind of like the irregularity of it all. So I'm just going through with that wet brush. I clean it off in between each one so you get a nice true color. And yeah, this is so easy. Anyone can do it. 1/4 of an inch stripes. You could add thicker stripes if you want. Now I'm kind of itching to color in a floral stamp. Maybe do a no-line watercolor look. I'm going to add a sentiment to this just using the extra large Teacher Greetings stamp set. Just came out in the Stamptember release. I'm going to emboss this sentiment in white onto a little strip of black cardstock. And this says, "You make a difference." And I just ink it up with Versamark ink. First I rubbed it down with the magic powder bag, pour on some Simon's Stamp white embossing powder, and then heat that with a heat gun. A very simple, clean graphic sentiment to go on top of that loosey watercolor background. Okay, so I take the coordinating die. I love that there's coordinating dies for all the sentiments in that extra large Teacher Greetings stamp set. Gonna pop this up on a soft, I believe this is fog card base. Pop up the sentiment. No embellishments needed because I do not want to cover up those beautiful stripes in the back. So there you have a first look at the Tim Holtz Distress watercolor pencils. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.